Let me unmute my mic. Let me know how the audio sounds. It's good?
It sounds good.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you clear.
Okay. Yeah.
Just want to make sure both sides are audible. Okay, so how's your day so far?
It's been relaxing, sleeping.
Oh, you was just sleeping again?
I don't know, my body is so tired.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we got a good topic today.
Okay.
Embracing.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was just going to talk about the topic.
No, I was just saying that I was hearing, I had my YouTube on, so I had toned it down also.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you can get some information from there, right?
Yeah. No, go ahead, please.
Because I remember you did speak about this, particular, maybe not exactly, but similar. You were speaking on the people having courage and building up their self-esteem, because we live in a society where we have low self-esteem. Either it's very low or it's very high. Or we have a very low ego or a very high ego. It's like really no in between. Wait, hold on. I have to get my battery. My charger is, the battery's gonna die. Hold on a second.
No problem.
Okay. Okay. All right, it's charging good. Yeah, so I remember you was speaking highly on that because we do live in a society where that self esteem could be so low,
Yes.
or it's too high to where people get caught up in their ego and they know
Yes.
everything, and if it's not according to their rules, then it's not right. So
Yeah.
I think we should come in between that middle ground to kind of guide people along the way to a positive aspect to grab onto their self-esteem. And I think the ego is okay. It's just it can get detrimental if it's too big-headed.
Mm-hmm.
You have that good ego and that bad ego, but society's
Mm-hmm.
been operating on a bad ego for
Yeah.
so long that we think ego is just 100% detrimental. It really doesn't have to be detrimental, but because people take it in a negative way and use it so negatively that we never get to see a positive ego. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yeah. It's very true. I mean, like we live in a. You're right. Talking about ego, self-worth. We live in a society, even from when we're born. I don't know. I think I'm assuming majority of us. I mean, I definitely went through this. Where we're always made like we have to think of what will society say. It starts with our parents, grandparents. You know what we don't realize also, there's a generational trauma that passes from each generation. And I
Right.
mean, they were doing their best to survive, obviously, with the circumstances they had. But I think
Mm-hmm.
it's now that we're talking more about things like generational trauma, what's being passed down, cutting down, making sure you cut those cords. Like it's our parents did the best they could. We can't change the past. Obviously, we can never change
Right.
the past. But I
And
think it's
then,
more like
and then some
we
people don't think that they have that
like
generational pass down. They don't believe in epigenetics.
yeah, that's the thing.
They don't think it
Mhm.
exists, but it does exist.
It exists. We all have it. There's no human being who doesn't have it. It just depends what is your generational thing that is passed on, and what can you and figuring it out. And it's not easy because that means going within, going like it's all about like
Mm-hmm.
understanding yourself, taking note of like what is your weaknesses, what are your strengths, and what is that you can change to your weaknesses. How can you better it? And sometimes people do point out your weaknesses. I mean, like we're in a society, we love pointing out each other's weaknesses, right? But is it okay? So it's two-dimensional. Is that person pointing out your weakness to make you feel bad and not help you to become better? Or there's the negative aspect, or are they trying to help you? And are you
Mm-hmm.
willing to be open enough to say, yeah, this is me? Because we do know each other. We breathe and eat. We are ourselves. We know each other. We know ourselves. It's I
Exactly.
think I think it's some people choose to be in denial and say, even though uh, they choose to ignore that side and say, no, I'm 100% perfect. So I guess it's like, are you willing to take that work of finding out what are those things that can you to make you to become a better person? And it's a lot
Mm-hmm.
of work because healing never ends. Healing, you think it will end, but you can heal one thing, or you can go back and repeat the same thing, and then once you sort of go over
Yeah.
that thing, you go to the next stage of healing, and it's the next stage of healing. And the truth, healing never ends. It's the same. I guess it's the same way they say we keep on learning. That's part of it. Healing is like learning.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically like you can never stop learning. The day you stop learning is the day you die. Now, if you don't want to learn, that's upon you. That's your choice as a human being.
Exactly.
Like, no, I guess it starts with what is your purpose on this earth? What is, because we talk about divine strength, but your divine purpose, it's all
Mm-hmm.
God. Like you were created here. What is your source? What do you believe in? So, and it's not, so this is, it's not talking about religion. It's more spiritual. What do you, what pushes you every day to wake you up, and then after that, so once you know what is your purpose, how can you make the best of this one life we have? Because we're not guaranteed tomorrow. So why don't you make the best of today and make the most of it and live it harmony and peace, and you just, I don't know, I guess I'm rambling. What I'm saying is like, okay, start with your divine purpose. What is your
No,
purpose
I
on
hear
earth?
you.
Because I say this because every day we're reminded. So like yesterday, I heard someone passed away, and he was in his 50s. He looked like young. 50s is still young, that's
I
our
know.
age. And then and you're just reminded about life, and you're like, no, we put so much emphasis on all these other things that it's a reminder, take care of yourself, live life, but also live life in a with purpose, not just live life anyhow, you
Mhm.
know through strength, courage. What is your self-worth, self-esteem? It all goes into self-love. Self-love goes back to what is your purpose. Like they all tie with each other. That because when we talk about divine, so you talk about, it can be God, whatever you believe in, Allah.
Mhm.
What is the spiritual essence? So it just, what is like, what pushes you every day? What makes, yeah, and it just reminds us to it also centers, like when we talk about all this, these are keywords, strength, courage, self-worth. It's like positive words. What is just also the center of it, like, so your purpose, are you the sense of being in gratitude, and not being, we always positive and negative, being positive. It's easier said than done, but just being okay, so just being grateful for even the small things you have. Life, you can start with life. We all woke up today, and I just said, just that reminder of death reminds you of like the aspect of life and health. Those two things, if you don't have them, we can't do anything else. You can have all the money in the world,
Right.
but if
But you're too sick to enjoy it.
no, yeah, if you don't have health, if you're too sick to enjoy it, if there's so much, you're troubled in your heart, like all this negative energy, you may do so many things, but you're still not, you've seen people with so much money, but they're not happy.
Mhm.
Yet you've seen people with no money, yet they're the happiest souls in the world. It's that
Exactly.
we crave for peace. So that's part of healing.
Exactly.
So, like, what is your healing journey? Are you willing to go it? Are you willing, that ego, again, ego, good ego versus bad ego? Are you willing to work on your good ego, not your negative ego? The negative ego, we all know what it is. It's the last that you want more, more, more. I am the best. I am, this is just like you're the me, 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 me. But we live
Right.
in a world where we have to interact with everybody. Even a pod, like even conversation, you can't talk to yourself. Even if you have an animal, you're still talking to the animal gives you back energy, right?
Exactly.
So we all, God didn't create us to be here alone. The divine didn't create us to be here alone. Adam, Eve was created so Adam could have a companion. We all need some sort of companion in some sort of way. We all need each other. We can't live
Mhm.
in an, yeah. So I think this it's a huge topic. Like it's a topic that it's a continuous journey of just a constant reminder that we really need to continue working on ourselves. And I think God places people on our lives to push us sometimes to project our negative, as trigger us. We don't realize that. Oh, some people push you, they trigger you, or they push you to become better, or they bring out like even the people who you consider like evil or bad, and they put you in your life, they're meant to force you to either face yourself or push yourself to go to the next step. Are you willing
Yeah.
do you want to stay in that stage, or are you willing to push yourself to the next stage? So it's
Mhm.
upon us. Yeah. And as human beings, we don't realize. I always remember this story of, remember the Israelites when they were so close to after they left Egypt, they're so close to the promised land, but they struggled 40 years because they didn't want to learn that lesson. And unfortunately, I feel that's the worst. Like, we don't realize as human beings, we keep repeating the same mistakes, and we're not learning that lesson so we can move on to the next
Yes.
stage.
Yes. It's a
That
pattern that we never break, but we're looking for different results, doing the same
yes,
thing over and over again. Oh, if I do it again, I'll get a different result. Oh, I'll do it again. I'll get another result. I'll do it again. And they don't realize that you need to change your pattern. And then the results change, you know?
Yes. And and sometimes, and we know this, and we could have saved ourselves maybe 2 years or 10 years. But so unfortunately, some people don't get those, like, that chance, because you see, again, with life, we never know what our time on earth is.
Yeah.
Here today, gone tomorrow.
Exactly.
So, and they say the graveyard is where all the dreams are. All the dreams, everything you can think of, the greatest inventions, but never created. Never, yeah. So I think for me, that's one big fear. Is like, well, no, I can't. No, it's just, I'm gonna, at least knowing you tried your best. Yes, and God, whoever you believe in, at least would know that. In your heart, you tried. You really tried. You tried to put yourself out there and say, what if? I'm too old. It's too late. There's, I don't believe in those. I don't want to believe in that anymore. And I think it took me a long time to reach to this stage, to tell you the truth. I was one of those people who was like, maybe one day, no, it's not the right time. In the victim mode. But anyway, I felt sick out to Israel for the longest time doing that circle. I probably was like them. It took me 40 years. I literally feel as if it took me 40 years to reach to this stage. To like say, okay, now stop being scared, stop being fearful, and just go. And it literally, because I was a dreamer, but I won't push myself. I'll sort of push, but then I'll get scared and I'll go back. I'll get scared and go back. But now I'm realizing, I was that person. I let fear take over me. I let people's opinion. I let all that, listen to others, caring about what others will say, how they will think of me. But the truth is, people will still, whether you do anything or not, they'll still think good or worse about you. What are you going to do about it?
You got to please yourself. Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, if you, at some point, this is where faith comes in, and having, like, okay, so it's your relationship with the divine. Like, you're like, okay, God, you know me better. So please guide me, and just, if I'm going wrong, please put me back in the right path, So yes, I've gone round and round, but also that thing of like, it's also another way of, once you're in your own path of what you're placed here for, you don't realize it, because you go through healing. You have to go through, face all your demons, your inner demons, on working on them. You have to like, it will force you, what the simple things that, well, people say strength, courage, and what's strength, courage, and self-worth, all these words that we always say. No, but you literally will have to face yourself, and it's like, do I have the strength? Do I have the courage? When you start this journey of yourself, it's also you have to deal with sit down and face all those negative, also generational patterns, what was from before. You will have to face that. So so it's all about, the purpose is embracing what you've been placed here on earth, so it's a continuous journey, and trust you, there'll be temptation along the way. There still is temptation. I can even say that for myself. I'm sure for you also, as you're already on your path, you're on your divine purpose. So you face everything, obstacles every day, and it's so easy to divert and go left. And so we need always something to bring us back. That's where spiritual, we are brought back, into our center. Yeah, so it's a journey, and then this is not it's not for the weak. It's easy to do the other things. It's good. It's easy to do all have ego and all these other,
Exactly.
So that is the easiest thing, to join the masses. It's easy. It's harder to be on your own and go a certain path, because you'll be seen as, are you crazy? Are you normal? It's very hard. And if, like, I the other day I noticed that, like, even Jesus, when he would take moments to go out and pray by himself. He needed to, like you remember he fed the people the 5,000. I'm not very good with my Bible stories. So
Are you talking about the bread when he gave a piece of bread and fed a whole multitude of people?
Yeah. And then he went off and prayed by himself. He would do those moments of going and praying by himself.
And I think that's another problem we have. We don't like to go in our dark mode. We
Yes.
don't like to go in our quiet meditation time where we don't need friends, family, no distractions around us. We just have to go within so we can check ourselves, scan our mind, see what we need to change, see what we need to enhance. We don't take that solitude time for ourselves. We always want to be in the mix, you know?
Yes.
And I think that that's another thing that, you know, lacks us with having self-worth and strength and courage, because we don't have that me time.
Mm-hmm.
We don't think we deserve it, you know?
Yes. And it's also like when you have the me time, do you know, that's when you, as you said, you have to face yourself. It's like when all these thoughts come in. And now that even me time, you can find yourself. It's like literally me time. It's not where you have your laptop or your TV in front of you or your phone. It's literally me time where you reflect, and it's, you know, because the phone is a distraction. Your TV, everything else, social media is a distraction. So when we say me time, meditate, like you literally have to face yourself. That takes a whole lot of strength and willpower too. And then now, and then and it's not easy because you will face, like you will see things about yourself you would not like, and even working on becoming that, like, you know, working on them also it's a process. It's painful.
Oh, yes. Admitting
it's
that
so
I got this problem and I need to work on this problem, unless it's going to, you know, be detrimental to my next moves. You know, it's going to attract you to the same like-minded people, and then you wonder why you can't be in a positive circle.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. And when you are trying to work on yourself, that's when you also will be surrounded. That's when more people will be like, why do you keep it by yourself? You're so boring.
Yeah, you think you're better.
Yes. That's where people, the ones who can't deal with themselves, and they want to understand that it's also being by yourself. It's also discipline, by the way. It's discipline. So it's like, it's another form of discipline. So that's where you have all this negative, even especially from your loved ones, like, why you keep it by yourself? You know, why you shutting yourself? Are you depressed? Are you, you know, it's all.
Yeah, it always has to be something bad if you want to be alone.
Yes.
You know, it can never be a good thing why I want to be alone.
Yes. Yeah, yes, definitely. And yes, there are moments that, yes, you do need people to check on you, like, you know, people might be going through stuff. But unfortunately, they check on you when you're going through your transformation, not when you're depressed. That's when it's like, oh, I should have checked on that person.
They don't check on you when the hurricane hits your house.
Yes. But they'll check on you when you're going through that transformation, when you need to work on yourself. And that's where temptation comes in a lot. And like, and also another thing, when we go through different phases of like healing and transformation, that's spiritual transformation. And as I said, remember, you know this, it's hard. And there'll be days when you think you've already learned that lesson, you're healed, and you find yourself, the universe will test you, and then you find yourself back again. And I think we have to be also kind to ourselves and gentle with ourselves to remind us that it's okay. Take 2. Let's do it another round. It's all right. I think that's where I had to learn. I'm still learning to be gentle on myself, not to beat myself. Where you beat, especially this perfectionism. We talked about us being perfectionists.
Oh yeah.
So you beat yourself. You're like, I should have become better. I should have learned this lesson. But no, it's okay. Let's try another round. At least you recognize that you still have a lot to learn. And then that's also where we have to learn to be gentle with ourselves. Because we have to, again, it goes to that aspect of self-love. You have to love yourself before you love someone else.
True.
I get easier said than done. Oh my goodness. I think that's for me at this period. I've been going through a season of like reminder of self-love. I mean, talk about it, but I just realized I really need to also still work on my self-love. There's certain situations that remind you like, oh, you're still in the growth stage of what is self-love and what does it involve, and putting yourself first. Because I am a giver. I give a lot to others. I give energy, and so I forget myself in that aspect, and I lose myself in that. So I had to learn.
You give so much that you don't get back a third of what you give out. It may come other ways from other people, but it never comes to the direct. It never comes from the direct people that you're always giving to. And the moment you can't do it, the moment you say I don't have it, I can't, then you're a bad person. They have an attitude with you. You really start seeing where that friendship, is going to go once you can't help them.
Yes, exactly. Or you're moody, you're selfish, all this, but they don't realize that you've been giving to give, and there you find that. So those are, I would say, energy vampires in your life. So even identify people who take. And now, so this is where you have to, part of self-love is and self-worth is to learn how to cut off those people from your life. I've had people who say, how can you cut off people? It's so hard. That thing of like keeping someone in case you might need them in the future, or a telephone, or,
why would you need them if you know that you need to cut them off? Why would you need them in the future? That doesn't make sense. That's just glutton for punishment. You know that these people are no good for you. You're only good for them as long as you can give them something. And you want to still hold on to them because you might need them in the future? No.
Exactly. Need them in the future.
Trust me, the Most High is going to bring somebody in your path when you're in need to help you out. Because no good deed goes unrewarded. Just like no bad deed goes unpunished, no good deed goes unrewarded. So you don't have to worry about if I hold on to them because I need to hold on to them because I'm going to need them again in the future. No, it doesn't work like that. No.
It doesn't. It actually doesn't.
Your help will come, but it won't come from them. You will get the help you need, but it definitely won't be them.
It won't be them. In fact, the funny part is like it will be from even strangers. Strangers that
perfect
you do.
Stranger.
Yeah, perfect stranger. And so that's where like it's so important because I like going back like so you give so you're left depleted, and then you see people moving forward, and then you're left you feel stuck. So that's how I felt for the longest time, and I think that's where it got me to this stage because I needed to learn that lesson personally. For me, it's like I thought love was give. That was also when as you grow up, you were shown different kinds of love, right? So you give, you're depleted, and then you
charge back up again, and you get depleted again.
Yes, and then you don't even pour in your own cup. And I didn't even know back then how like I would always run away, not spend time by myself, right? I didn't enjoy spending time by myself. That thing of like meditation, like really I do to work on myself because I felt like I needed to go through those lessons to really understand it. And then the other thing is like you see others move forward, and then you start having resentment, all this negative. It's like, why are they moving? Jealousy, all those feelings. And people are afraid of saying this. We do all go through those emotions, and that's how you. If you can, I believe, if you can acknowledge your negative characters, that also is another way of healing and attempting to work on yourself to become a better person. If you can actually say, I am like this and this, you acknowledge self-awareness. It's another way of becoming a better person. You're embracing everything about yourself because you live with yourself. You wake up with yourself, you sleep, So, so yes. So that was like, I had to go through those lessons. And I think like, and had pivotal moments and like, and so I had rock bottom moments. And then I needed those rock bottom moments several times to then make me realize, no, enough is enough. you have to do this for yourself. You can't wait for someone else to come rescue you. You have to start with yourself. Self-love, you know.
That's
And
true.
every time, and it's not to say that you won't have rock bottom moments, like, you know, because it's life. That's part of life. You have down moments to go. Actually, I was having a conversation with my dad. He said that, and he was saying, and he reminded me, and it was very interesting because he loves to learn every day. And he's like, even he was like, and it's failure is not even a bad thing. It's actually a good thing because it's how you view it. Those rock bottom and failure moments actually is the best thing ever because they push you up to become even better.
Yes, it's how you bounce back.
Yes, it's how you bounce back. In fact, those moments are the most cherished. And if you look back, that's where you can say, I made it through. I am like, you even have like, you feel stronger, you know, this invisible strength, you know, that you have. And you like, oh, I made it through all those moments. And that's the best. That's actually where people enjoy. You see people have, when they're winning the Oscars or, you know, all these awards, because you know they've gone through stuff, and it's like those moments, and you're like, the tears is not of, it's of joy, it's relief, it's all sorts of things, because you know it's, yeah, because they pushed out, they came up, and that's their reward. Yeah. So I think even if you're, to anyone who is going to even hear this later, who's out there, if you're going through such hard times, just know those tears, what you're going through, the struggle is not for, it's not for nothing. You're gonna make it. You're gonna make it for sure. We all have a purpose here, so we're gonna make it. There's no way we're gonna leave this earth without making our mark on this earth in a huge way. Yeah. So sorry, I've been talking so long.
No, trust me, it's good. It's good because you're saying some real stuff. So don't think you're talking too long. Keep going. People need to hear that encouragement because we live in such a dense society. You know what I mean? And we have like a generation of narcissists coming up.
Oh,
you know what I'm trying to say? And it's not even just the younger generation, it's the middle generation, it's the old generation. It's like this world has turned so narcissistic that we need to hear these type of things. Like, yeah, it's okay to fail. Because we know from that failure, you're going to bounce back. You know what not to do again. You know what you messed up at. You know you went wrong. And then you dust yourself off and you try again. You don't have to stay in that worrying about what people was going to think about.
Exactly, you know? I was going to say that. Yeah. Also, like, just because pull yourself out and don't even, you know, this is one thing. I think it also plays with our mind. It's where we think, what would X, Y, Z say? You know, my family, my spouse. I don't know, whoever you're surrounded with, who is in your like in your environment right now. Don't ignore them. Try to ignore them. I mean, because you also have to realize they're also human beings and they project. That's why we'll go back to in the beginning. We're talking about generational. Know what our generational patterns are. Remember, our parents are humans. Our families are humans. Everybody is a human being. Like, and they have trauma. Grandparents, they have trauma. There's all. Somewhere you find that perhaps they need inner healing, inner child healing, or you know, something.
Yeah.
Or I'm not just saying, sorry, I keep saying parents, spouses, siblings, name it. It could be cousins, family, you know, name it. It could be your co-workers. You have to really have this discernment. It's also part of it is being self-aware and what is good for you and what is, discernment like that, because people have a tendency of projecting. Listen carefully. You know when it's from a good source, from a good heart, or it's from a negative jealousy heart. Listen carefully. And if the people will give you advice, have they gone through the journey, what you sort of have gone through, or they just listen carefully and assess. Feel the energy of that person. Is it coming from a good place?
Yes.
Yes. You know, it could be anyone. Yeah.
That's absolutely true. And a lot of people are dealing with inner child trauma, and it goes into them into their adulthood, and then they subliminally pass it down to their children, possibly grandchildren, and then how they react with one another or how they react with people in society, you see that in the child trauma, they don't even realize that they're traumatized. They think that they're healed, or they don't realize that they even have that trauma because it's become such a norm, you know?
Yes. And also another thing that also reminds me, like I remember talking this with my sister, like, you know, the thing about, like, yes, age does not equal wisdom, by the way. What I mean by that is...
Exactly. Tell me about it. Tell me about it. Because sometimes I have to wonder, like, are you sure you're 70 years old talking and thinking like that?
Exactly. Because, yes, they can have, because they've gone through life circumstances, they have life experience, right? Mm-hmm. But what they've gone through. Now, does it equate? It could also be wise in, let's say, book smart, right? Yeah, you could be wise in that. But also now we're talking about. I want to talk about the thinking here, like, you know, the way the I don't know how to explain it. It just, yeah, you're right. I don't know how to. Maybe you can help me.
It's like sometimes they're thinking it's so elementary.
Yes.
You know, and you feel, and you say, like, okay, even though they're in their 70s, even though they're an elder, they're still stuck in time. They're stuck in their time frame. They're stuck in their time zone. They're stuck in what they was brought up to believe, and they're not going to snap out of it.
I mean,
it's like a cognitive dissonance. You keep doing something for so long that it becomes your pattern. And when someone tries to show you another direction and show you that pattern that you're living is either played out, it never was really working. You know what I mean? It's only passed down to you from your grandparents or parents because it was passed down to them, and that doesn't mean it was right because you've been doing it for a long time. And they're so comfortable in it that they don't want to shift from it.
Yes, exactly. And then that thing of, like, you have to listen to me because I'm older than you. Yes, listen.
Just because you're older. Exactly. Only because you're older.
Yes, there are other aspects. You have to be respectful. I mean, we know that, you know, honor thy, you know, father than mother. Like, that is talking about
the basics. Yes,
exactly. Yeah, the basics, right? And, you know, the basic of honoring our authority, higher.
Your elders, have respect for your elders, have respect for people in general.
But also, listen. Again, it always goes back to listening. Like, you know, this is where discernment. I'm going to use the Bible again. I don't know why technically I do the Bible. It's not like I'm so, I guess maybe I'm spiritual, but I won't say I'm so religious. But I remember, wasn't there an example of Jesus when he was young? Like, when he was young, he went and he was speaking. He went to not a church, but where he was sitting down with the elders and he was preaching to them when he was really young. And his mom, like, he had gone with his mom, and she left his mom and ran off. And I think they were.
And she was like, "I've been looking for you everywhere, here and there, to and fro." And he was like, "Why would you be looking for me everywhere, here and there, to and fro? You should have known that I'm here in the temple talking with the elders." You know, it's like you're driving yourself crazy looking for me. Common sense should have told you that I'm with the elders. I'm counseling with the elders because that's what I do. You don't know me by now.
Exactly. And he was a small child, and he was like, "I'm a child
telling a grown-up that, right?"
And they were listening to him. He was giving them counsel. So that tells you, even, like, just, you know, basically, this is where spirituality comes, where they talk about old souls. You can find a young person having an old soul, and that's wisdom. Yeah, wisdom. But also that has lived through so many. It's like, you know, generations, you know, centuries, and come. Yeah. So, and I do believe. Yeah. So that's why I'm saying age does not always equate you to be wise. Does not always equate. You have to. It's through your actions, through your. Yeah, it's not through just your words. It's through your actions, what you've done. You know, that's where people say, that's a wise man. That's a wise woman. You know, that's a wise person right there.
Exactly.
You embody wisdom. You embody it. It's not just brought upon.
Not just talking about it. You have to put action behind what you're talking.
Yes, yes.
because you can have all the faith, but if you're not putting in the work, it's
No,
death. And you can
it's
have
that.
all the work, to do all the work, all the action, but don't have
Yeah,
faith in what you're doing, and then that's death too. So they're like running hand to hand. You have to put action into what you're talking,
yes, yeah,
unless 20, 30 years is going to pass by, and you're going to wonder why we're not going nowhere, why things haven't changed. But the world is moving.
yeah.
Time is still going,
It is. Yes, and that's one thing that's constant. Change. Change, it was constantly, there's always, we're on the go, like whether we like it or not. It's
Mhm.
life is just on the go. And so that's why, like, I think it's just a good reminder. And this is like, it's so funny how, like, the simple things that we need reminder for, to, to be grateful for, the, like, our life, health, having our loved ones, the ones alive and well, and they're also healthy, or
Yeah.
if are with us, or having shelter, you have running water, you have food, you have all the basic things that we have, having that. Yeah, so it's like there's a lot. So it's just it's the simplest things, but it's so easy to wait and to go on the other side and be negative, and like and just think like, oh, I don't have XYZ. But yeah, but there was something else I just also wanted to say, I forgot.
I know,
Yeah,
right?
there was something else when I was talking about, like, the being wise, and I forgot. Yeah, no, but yeah, maybe you guys say
I
something
mean,
about,
if you have a short video that you have done similar to that, you can share it on the screen, and we can listen to it. You can watch it.
and there's so many. I can't think of something right now. Like what I want. No, yeah, maybe next time. But yeah, I was trying to think of. There was something else I forgot completely. What I wanted to talk about. Yeah, there was a when I was talking about. Yeah, but yeah. Anyway, yeah, healing. Healing is such a journey. It's quite something else. Um, I think, like I did, as I said, this message is we have to keep reminding ourselves, not just also about self-love, about it's never too late. I also don't like this thing where people keep saying, I'm too old to do this. I'm too old. But you're still alive. I mean, there are other people who haven't even reached your age, and you're still here.
Exactly.
So what's stopping you? I mean, at least try and say, I tried. Maybe it wasn't meant for you. But in your heart, say you tried. But don't say the excuse of, I'm too old.
I know what you mean, because I'm seeing like 80-year-olds, 90-year-olds saying that they graduated from high school or they just graduated from college. Seeing an 80-year-old couple get married. That was her first time ever getting married.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So you're never too old to do what you want to do. If you tell yourself that you're too old to do it, then so be it. Then you're not going to do it. You're already told you.
Yeah. Yes, and you're putting out in the universe. And I like that topic of even marriage. Why do people, it's so funny. I was having a conversation with a friend yesterday, and being in the 40s, being in the 40s and not married. Yeah, and so this person was basically telling the friend, that this thing of like, oh, it's over for you, like for the 40s, like, oh, you're a spinster, who would want? They know all the good men are married. They're married, so you can be a second or like a side piece, like, why? Like, what is that reasoning? Because you're projecting, because you want to have a side piece, do you have to project onto somebody else and make them feel as if like, oh, it's the end of the world, you can never find love. You can find people there could be people who are married right now, they're not even in love, but they're just there for the sake of being, but that's their choice. But does not mean you have to project onto the others and to say that the ones who are single, they're unhappy. No, we all have a choice. So yeah, so this thing of you're too, it's always late. Yeah, for everything. No, it's never late. I mean, we've seen countless of examples. People who have done things even later in life. In fact, they became really successful later in life. It can be anything. from success to love. You just mentioned like a couple marrying at 90 years old. I mean, hey, do
Right.
you? That's your life. At least you're enjoying life still.
True.
In fact, people are probably jealous that you found love again.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's like never too late to do what you want to do.
Yes.
Never too late.
In fact, it's never too late. It's never too late. So we have one life. We have to remember we have this life. Before you become the daughter and son, you're the son and daughter. You have your own identity, or you're the husband or the wife, or you're the father, mother, or grandparent. You were created to be you as an individual. Remember that. We have to remember that. Before everyone else, you start with yourself. Like, yeah, so we have to remember that. So yeah, oh my goodness. I think human beings, we really do put a lot of limitation for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
We really do put a lot of limitations for ourselves. And it's something also I have to, like, as I'm saying this, I have to also be conscious of us, myself, like, in our mind. Don't limit yourself. Don't limit yourself. Yeah, in anything. And don't let anyone project their limitations upon you. It's a key reminder.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think that's the problem too, that we're always worrying about what the outside is going to say, how the outside views us,
Yeah.
And we just have to do it. If it feels good to you and the intention is good, it's not harming anybody, go for it.
Yes. If it's not harming anyone, yeah, go for it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you, boo? Do you? Do me. I not do me, but like you get what I'm saying. But yeah, do you? I think there's so much potential once you start, and it's true. If you try to see the world from a positive angle, from like hope, you will
right.
Blessings and hope will come towards you. If you see it from a negative, of course, problems and issues will come to you. So if you see, like, there's so much possibilities out there. And now we're entering into the summer period. I think the sun is coming out. It's time for hope. In fact, it's actually very timely. 1st of June, the summer period. It's now time to all of us change our mindset and now think of hope. The sun is out. There's so much we can explore. There's so much one can accomplish. This is the period. It's the season of yes. The season of exploring what we can, going beyond what we can do. So yeah, I just want to tell people, don't give up. This is a good period of having hope. Yeah.
I'm sorry, sis. I'm trying to get this long distance call from Namibia, so that's why I came off the camera while you were talking. So you can keep talking. I'm listening, but trying to talk to them at the same time. Just give me 1 minute. Yeah, just give me 1 minute. I'll be right back.
No problem. I just, for everyone who's listening out there, I just want to give you encouragement. I know it's not easy. You're probably going through such a hard time right now. And some of these topics seem very easier said than done. And it takes a shift in the mindset. Believe me, I understand that. I do have my days when I feel very down. And I need a pick-me-up. And I'm always currently to look. I try my affirmations. Sometimes they don't even work. I try, it's just you're not feeling like yourself. But it's okay to have those days. It's okay to have those days. knowing that in the back of your mind that it's going to end, and it is going to end. Everything has to come to an end. It's like a storm, a storm when it rains. It has to, like, some point stop raining, right? And the rainbow will come out. So that's it. So I'm just want to encourage you that the rainbow will come out. The rainbow will come out, and you're going to do great. You're going to be able to make it. No, I was just giving you a message. Talking about, like, when you have down days, and sometimes it feels as if like it's not going to end, but it will end. It will end. And the sun will come out. And I was just when you were on the call, I was like, this is such a good timing also for us to even begin this, because it's the beginning of, like, I feel as if 1st of June for me is like beginning of summer, and summer signifies hope. The sun is out. There's so much potential in there. There's love. There's you just feel like, you can do anything you want to. It's not gloomy. So I feel as if this is, especially for those who have been going through really dark clouds and, like, through hard times, I think they shouldn't give up hope, because there's a turning point, and that turning point is now. And there will be days when you probably might in the future go down back again, and that's okay. You'll be back up again. But right now, I feel as if, like, it's the period of, like, the sun is out. There's potential. There's there's love in the air. There's there's, like, that feeling of, like, there's something going to happen.
Exactly.
And I think that's the thing. If we can try our best, and I just realized this because I also go through this when I'm in my negative mind, cloudy, negative mindset. Everything I think is like problems, issues. I even project it onto everything around me and everyone around me. But when I go through and I'm in the stage of, like, okay, now positive, like, there's so much potential in the world. So much comes to you. Even miracles start happening. The simple things like that we take for granted as miracles is the universe giving you back what you're projecting out in the universe. You're giving love. There's so much potential.
Yes.
The universe will give you back also. But also, be aware there'll be people who want to bring you back in your dark. Run away from them. Run. What you destroy? Run. And remember to cut them off. Cut. This season of June and July and August, we're cutting people off. Deleting. Cut.
Yes. Cut the cords. Cut the webs. Unhook the hooks. Remove the attachments. Oh yeah.
Cut. We're cutting people off. Don't serve a purpose. You know what? There's this thing that I read is like people come into your life for reason, season, lifetime. So it's a poem. So the way I understand it, like, it's for reason is for, like, a particular reason. It could be reason for a season or a season, like, and it's to teach you, or you to teach them. There are different purposes, or it's to help you. And that season they might come in and they'll come and they'll leave. Either you stop talking, something happens, or they die, or something happens. So then and so that you have to remember this reason, season. It's a point. Reason, season, lifetime, and there are those ones who stay in your life for a lifetime. And just because, and it doesn't have to be always negative, where people come into your lives for a reason, season. It's okay. Some people were meant to be there to hold your hand for that, to be your guardian angel, or you are meant to be the guardian angel for that period, or a season, so they can move on to the next stage. So it works both ways. So we're not meant to really hold on to people, really. It's
That's true.
The universe is either going to remove them, and sometimes it also happens through death, and that's part of life, And then people will be lifetime, and lifetime will come to a certain end at some point, right? And it's through death. So it's okay to, if you feel the need, this person, when you feel that actually is one of the topics, like if they drain you and you don't feel good around them, you don't have to literally say, some people you literally have to say, I'm cutting you off, right? And then some others you just have to do it silently, just cut. You don't have to tell them. They'll feel it. They'll
just move in silence. And when they don't hear from you anymore, or they don't see you anymore, I think they'll pretty much get the picture, you know. They'll figure what you're doing.
Yes, and especially those who are very negative. We want to talk about the positive ones in our lives, but the negative ones,
oh yeah,
cut them off. I think it's very important. You cannot be holding on to, and this could also be, I know it's a sensitive topic, but it could also be family members. It can be family
Tell me
members.
about it, my sis. Tell me about it, Queen. Tell me about it. And it's sad. It's sad to do it, but if you don't do it, you're going to fall in that same generational curse pattern that's been going on within the family for decades on end. You have to do it. If someone has to be the generational curse breaker in the family, somebody has to be it, unless you're just going to keep repeating that same generational curse pattern. And we're not talking to my children. Some of them, sometimes they get it, sometimes they don't. When they don't get it, it's when they go be around the generational cursed family members. And then when they see that they're generational cursed family members, then they get it. And now, oh, I see why certain family members don't deal with certain family members. But I think it's just a learning experience they had to go through. But if I'm telling you why I don't deal with these particular type of family members, and you still want to go rally around them, don't come back to me, or don't be hurt in your feelings when you experience what I've been saying all along. You know
and I know what you mean. And then, like, knowing anyone who might even hear this, they'll be like, "No, I mean, how could you cut off your family members?" I'm like, "It's not
like a piece of scissors and cut that on through it." That's how.
Yeah, so it's for you to discern who is a good family member and who is not a good family member for you. It's up to you. It's for you to discern as a grown up or as a child who is growing up. Because as you said here.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, like, because it's not just adults we're talking to; it's also teenagers. You know, as you grow.
Oh yeah.
You're saying
all age groups.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All age groups, because most of my family members in the matrix. They're caught in the matrix. They have this slave-matic mindset. I'm like I'll give a good example. I'm the field slave. I'm the field prisoner of war. I'm the one who was always thinking of a strategy to get away from the master, the slave master, to get away from his cognitive dissonance, to get away from his evilness. But I got a lot of family members that like living in the house with master. They like eating high off the hog.
Yeah.
You know, they like to know that they have their own room, their own bed. You know what I'm saying? And they can eat the scraps.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
They can eat the scraps of master. They're contented with that. What I'm going to do with that? But respect it and leave them be. Leave me to where I am, and I leave you to where you are. Because sometimes there's no coming back with them. There's no. You can't save everybody, and some people are meant to be where they are in life and who they are in life. No matter how much you try to show them that they're in the matrix, that they got a slave mind, that they're all caught up in this whole matrix web or whatever. No matter how much you explain that to them, they like being that way. And they look at you as the problem. They look at you as weird and different. They look at you as, oh, why she's evolving like that? They want you to keep evolving like them. And if you're not evolving like them, then they don't want to mess with you. They'll talk about you behind your back and then in your face. Hey, cuz, what's up, cuz? But as soon as your back is turned, they chat and say, oh, I don't mess with her. I don't deal with her, but they calling you, wishing you Happy Mother's Day, wishing you Merry Christmas, wishing you all these things that you don't even deal with. You know what I'm saying? Things that you don't even practice. They're doing that. You know what I'm saying? But behind my back, you don't mess with me. So that's a sick way of being. And in order for me to be free from that, I have to cut them off. There's no need for me to have them in my life. What am I benefiting from having them?
Exactly.
I can't think of one benefit. I can't think of one benefit, my sis, for having them in my life. Not one. But to hear you talk about other family members that I already know is like that, you're not telling me nothing new. What's the benefit? Because you don't want to hear nothing I have to say, because I'm talking contra to what you're saying. You know what I mean? I'm talking opposite of what you're talking about. So why I need you in my life? If I can cut off friends then why can't a family get cut off because we share the same bloodline? That's the only thing we have in common is the bloodline. And sometimes that bloodline has the generational curse.
Exactly.
The epigenetics has been tainted. It's toxic.
Yes.
Their genes are retarded. I call it a retarded gene because they will clean the gene up and tap into the new gene and create a new body. You know what I mean? They want to stay in that old way, in that old way of thinking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I can't do it anymore. I like to elevate. I like to learn and constantly keep learning. They say the best student, the best teacher is the student. So I want to be that best teacher. And I want to be that student that always learning, never learning. You never want to know everything, like you said earlier. So you go to that grave, you know what I'm saying, and move on to the other side, then you know everything. But as long as you're walking in flesh and blood, you're going to always be learning, whether you like what you're learning or you don't like it. So because I'm that type of way, and they still stuck in time, or they still stuck in the matrix, they're not trying to learn nothing. They want to stay where they are, and they think that that's the way. And I know that's not the way. They got a bad diet, which contributes to their bad thinking. Then the bad thinking contributes to their bad actions, their bad ways. You know what I'm saying? It's like all across the board, they're sick. They got a messed up diet. They're going to the doctor that's not healing them. You know, you try to tell them to do something herbal or holistic, they frowning on it.
Yeah.
I can't anymore, sis. I really can't. And I figure, you know, if you're really my family, you will respect what I have to say, just like I respect you. You need to be respectable of me. Like, I could actually heal you. I can show you how to heal from this disease or something.
Exactly.
I can give you a lot of education on what you're doing that's making you sick. And then you're going to go right back to eating the same thing that gave you diabetes in the first place. What am I going to do with family members like that? What am I going to do with family members like that? And I'm not waiting for Jesus to return, because that's what 3,000 years we've been waiting. He ain't come back yet. My great-grandmother passed away waiting for him to come back. My grandmother passed away waiting for him to come back. My mom is still living, and when she passes away, she's going to pass away waiting for him to come back. I can't do anything anymore. No. It's good to know the teachings of the Bible. I don't mean to cut you, but it's good to know the teachings of the Bible. Don't get me wrong, because you can always apply it in a positive way in your life, because I do love Psalms and I do love Proverbs. You know what I'm saying? The power of Psalms and things like that. But at the same time, there's more scrolls. There's more relics. There's more books beyond that, past that, older than that you can get even higher learning from. Where you can tap into your Christ consciousness, not waiting for Christ to come back and save you, but tapping into your Christ consciousness. So you can do what Jesus did, and even better, because he said that in the Bible. You can do what I do, and even greater. I mean, come on.
No, I totally agree with you. Yeah. And that's the thing. I don't know. Okay. I think this also sort of make excuse, like, you know, like saying like, oh, you're going to wait. What are you waiting for? You have one life. And also, I believe Jesus would want us to live our life, and, you know,
I think so too.
Like,
yes.
Yeah. Because
you think that, right? He lived his life.
I mean, he lived his life, and like also, did he tell you in your lifetime? Is it written saying that in my lifetime he is going to appear? Where is it written that?
It's not.
I think he
was talking to the people in that time.
Yeah.
He wasn't talking to me and you. He was talking to the people in that time.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, seriously, I think human beings, we give lots of excuses for so many things. And we know it deep inside when we're giving excuses. I mean, maybe we can be oblivious. We can be oblivious at that moment, but I mean, I'm sure somehow, somewhere, somebody will point out, like, you know, you're making excuses, or it will be brought to your attention. That's an excuse. Also, we can't save everybody. You know how, like, when someone is swimming and they can't swim, and you're trying to help, and you're trying to save them, and you're swimming, but they keep, instead of like them staying still while you see them to shore, they keep, you know, fighting you. Exactly. So at the end, either you drown together or you leave that person to drown on their own. It's as easy as that.
And it happens a
So
lot.
you can,
People drown trying to save other people.
exactly. So if either, so you, then that's where you make the difficult decision. Either we go together, or you don't make us drown both, so I can save us, or you're on your own, and I go to the show. Yeah, so you can't save everybody. You first have to save. Isn't it also the plane where they tell you put on the mask on yourself before even putting it on a child?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have to So I mean, as much as you want to save others, but if they don't want to, pray for them. God bless you. Wish you well. On to the next. What can you can't change.
Exactly, sis, and that's just what I came to the conclusion to, you know?
Yeah.
I wish you well, more power to you, but I have to cut it.
I mean, like there's all this old saying, like you can take a donkey to a well or water, but you can't force the donkey to drink.
Right, exactly. Like how many times am I going to bring family and friends to the well and they don't drink the water? They go back and drink the dirty water, not the clean water.
Yeah. So what are you supposed? You can. So at some point you have like, no, enough is enough. There's a cutoff, and you just say, you know, this is where you make peace and distance yourself. Some call it distancing, some call it cutting off. Whatever it is, you're putting yourself first.
That's you're not being around that. Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
And we also have to remember, like, this is also like, there's certain people who you're meant to cut off for, you know, forever. Not, yes, they'll come back.
Yes, that's another conclusion. Like, I'm supposed to not deal with this person because they are not even no good to themselves. So I know they're not going to be no good to me.
Yes. So is that person, have they, like, what was the reason you both separated? And if you both haven't healed or worked on becoming better and you're still the same, there's no point of even.
Exactly.
If one of you is healed and the other one isn't healed, it's going to be hard, but just, you have to pull yourself. Obviously, these things are easier said than done, obviously. I think there's a part of life, and that's part of like healing process, you know, the whole about like, you know, going back to that divine purpose, embrace, it means like you're embracing what you've been putting on earth for, you know? So yeah, that's part of it. Yeah. So yeah, this part of that healing like journey, you know, it's actually it's even connects to our topic, strength, courage, and self-worth. Like knowing, like having the strength and the courage to pull yourself away. And knowing like, no, this is not good for me, you know? So it's one of those topics that people don't like talking about, like, you know, cutting off. It's so funny whenever I bring it up.
That's a part of self-worth. You got to know your worth if that person is worth being in your life.
Yeah.
That's a part of, you know, embracing your divine strength. You got to have strength enough to say, look, I'm worth more than this. I don't need this.
And you know, part of it is also going back to that feeling lonely and like saying like, I won't have friends. I want, you know, that's like even being like an individual alone. Like, I think the strongest people are the ones who had.
It takes courage to do that.
It does. And but you find yourself, once you've done it, you find yourself and you've gone through it, you know you're strong. You don't have people to tell you you're strong because you know, and people tell you that you're strong.
And you were like, I did it.
I did it. And I can be by myself. And I'm okay with being by myself. That's when you actually even become more self-aware. You're like, I am actually quite strong. I don't like, yes, we still need people around us. That's but you need who for what? You're not it's not because you're scared of being alone.
Oh no. I think that's the best part of knowing your self-worth and tapping into that divine strength and courage is when you're alone, because that's when you're able to go into that deep meditation, search your heart, and know what's good for me, what's not good for me, what I need to do, what I don't need to do anymore. Where I made a mistake over here, I'm going to correct it over there. I'm going to be around these type of people because they share the same vision. They want to see me prosper. I want to see them prosper. Well, I'm not going back over here because all these people want to do is argue and talk big talk.
Yes.
big old ego, like they know everything, but when it's time to do the work,
Exactly.
ain't no work happening. When it's time to put the action, ain't no action happening. But we say sorry.
Exactly.
But we say we empresses. We say that we kings and queens, but we're not moving in that king and queen light. That's when we use that lonely time, that so-called lonely time. Whether it's a good lonely or bad lonely, I don't care how people want to look at lonely, but you can be lonely but not alone. Yeah, I'm lonely, but I'm not alone. Yeah, I'm alone, but I'm not lonely. You know what I'm saying? It's a difference.
Yes, there's a difference. Yeah, you're right.
I'm not asking for nobody to be around me. I don't care. I could be by myself, because that's when my creativity comes. That's when all the thoughts come to my mind, and the ideas and the millions in my mind start ticking in, and my wheels start spinning, and ideas start just going everywhere. And then when I'm doing that, I'm channeling it out to the universe. And the universe is feeling that and vibrating on that frequency. And it's going to bring me the right people, the right places, and the right things in my path. So I need that time to do that. When I do my yoga every day, I need to do my yoga every day, because that's my time to get my mind, my body, my spirit, to get my physical body, my emotional body, my spiritual body, and my mental body intact. That is the time for me to do that. And then when I'm doing that, that's when phone calls are happening, emails are coming through, positive stuff is happening, because I'm doing that me time. I'm manifesting my Christ-like consciousness. I'm tapping into it, okay? I charged it up, and now just watch the goodness around me start falling into place. Like how I met your beautiful self. You see what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying, and exactly that's
like how I met you. And you know what I'm saying? So it just works out like that. It does.
Yeah, like that. It's like that's the positive, the way you get to tap into all this, downloads, creativity.
You'll be surprised what your mind can come up with when you're in your me time. You'll be surprised when you're in that lonely, alone moment.
Isn't that like where they even talk about like why, like in the early hours, like people wake up to pray at 3-4 a.m. because it's quiet. It's like you can tap into that.
I know a lot of people that get up at 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m., even at midnight and pray.
And pray. Yeah, exactly. And then like because like that and also like that's why I actually love working out also at that time. Like my gym sessions are from 5 to 6 because it's quiet. It's like it's almost, the gym is empty. It's like it's not a me moment, but it's like you also get to
it is like a me moment because not everybody is there. It's only you and a few people.
And there's not so much energy because we live in a world with energy. By the way, talking like diverting into the aspect of talking about energy. Be like wish. It also takes some time to also start being aware of other people's energy around you. If you feel a negative energy of people, run. Again, run. Negative energy. If people show you your true colors and you still refuse to see that,
I'm telling you, because what was it? A few days ago, I was on a group call, and that negative energy was so high. I said, "No, I can't do this. I can't do this." I love the brother that invited me to it, but I can't be a part of that type of thing. I just can't. It's not going anywhere. It's not. Not going anywhere. They're a bunch of miserable, self-centered, egotistic, low vibratory souls, and I just can't.
And I think we like and like you, because I believe you also listen to intuition, right? So I think our intuition has to become our best friend. That has, in fact, talk about BFFs, best friend forever. Our intuition has to be our best friend forever, because that's our guiding. That's the Holy Spirit, the angels, like they inkling us. They're saying, okay, this is run. This is good for you.
Okay. Oh yes.
And
from the moment I got on the call, it was argument. People was arguing. The moment I got on the call, I said, wow. And I was in a good mood too.
Yes.
And I started not to answer. Something said, it ain't nothing. You're not missing this call. But then I said, okay, let me see. Maybe there's some updates on what was being planned, and maybe there's some good new news. Same
Yes.
old, same.
Yeah. So, oh my goodness. Yeah. So intuition is very, very important. But yeah, oh my goodness. It's, oh gosh. I mean, this
It's
is
like where to start when it comes to that, right?
Yeah.
It's like
Because,
where to start.
and then there will be always people who test you, make you feel safe, like you shouldn't trust your intuition. They'll be there. They'll challenge you. And that's why I'm saying it's very important that your intuition becomes your best friend. Because even that person who's making you feel safe, like telling you like, you're crazy. No, your intuition is not right.
Exactly. Oh, you're looking at it the wrong way. You shouldn't look at it that way. Like, also now I have to question my intuition that we all have, by the way. And I'm trusting in my intuition. You're going to tell me not to trust it and trust you? I don't think so. Mm-hmm. It's a reason why we have it. And a lot of times we don't use it, but we have it. Everybody have it. And when it starts red flagging, you got to listen to it, whether you like it or not. You have to listen to it. And that's why we're in the situations that we're in. We keep the same generational curses and the same patterns because we don't follow our intuition. We don't follow it until something happens bad, and then we say, see, I know it. Like I knew not to answer that call the other day, and I answered it. And it was just what I was feeling. So I know what you mean.
I know. And like, as you're saying, like, I like how you say red flags. Red flags.
They're there all the time. But we act like they're not there. We act like they're not there. We ignore it.
And then we go and seek another person's advice. Yet we know it in our hearts.
Exactly.
And that person, and you know who you're seeking advice from. Like, already. We're clever enough to know this person would tell you this kind of advice. This person would give you this kind of advice. Like, if you come to me, I'll probably tell you, yes, go for it. Someone else might tell you, no, don't go for it. So you know who you're asking, who you want, what kind of advice.
Exactly.
So I think, so intuition is so important. Like, building that, trusting yourself, trusting your gut feeling, that's your intuition. Yeah.
And then, you have some people, they will, let's just say, they'll go to a spiritual person, and the spiritual person will give them a reading. And they'll argue back with the spiritual person and say, no, I don't think it's that. So then why you even ask? Why are you even here? If you know the answer already, then why are you here?
Man, the human beings we deal with every day. I mean, it's already hard enough dealing with ourselves. Then you have to deal with someone's energies and issues, and oh my goodness.
They ask for help, I give you the help. You don't want to hear it. The help that I'm giving you, and now you want to make me question my advice that I gave to you. It's just funny. It's funny, It's funny.
But and also, like I read somewhere else, be very aware of the people you surround yourself with, the kind of mindset they have, because whether we like it or not, we will get influenced by them.
Oh yeah.
So if you're surrounding yourself with negativity, yes, eventually complaining, you end up, unless there's someone who you're surrounding yourself with, someone who's positive, you geared. So it's two-way. Yeah. So like it's very important, like just being conscious of who you're surrounding yourself with and the kind of information we consume. It really determines, it makes and breaks us. So it's very important. It's just going back again, self-worth and self-love. Just, like saying this, people, fine. Okay, let's say you're in a work environment and you're in a toxic work environment. If you can limit yourself, like, just do work and get out, well and good. But don't go beyond socializing and all that, because you're going to be engulfed in that. There's certain situations
and that gossip stuff.
Yes. That can be work. Also, again, friends, people you hang out with, or So it's really important. Just It's all going about being self-aware, like what is good for me? What is good for my growth? What is good so I can become this, the best version and, live the life I was put here on earth for. So yeah,
That's right.
so being aware of the environment you're surrounded. Yes, sometimes you can. Yes, you might not be able to control the, excuse me, the where you live, or I mean, it could be financial reasons or where you work. But if you can limit as much as possible, well and good. Especially those who don't have the best interest for you and are just in a cluster. Everyone is supposed to think the same. We're supposed to act the same. We're supposed to dress alike. We're supposed to look the same. That's so boring.
Yeah, that's so boring. Can you imagine everybody doing the same thing? That's like robotic. That's too robotic for me.
It is just so boring. That's why we were meant to be unique. That makes life interesting.
Yes.
If you all think alike, then what is the point of me being like this? It's so boring. And that's the thing, like people don't embrace uniqueness. They say they embrace uniqueness, but really they don't embrace uniqueness. They embrace the mass thinking. Huh?
No, I said they sure don't.
The mass thinking, especially when it's negative. I mean, there's mass thinking that's positive, but there's also the negative aspect. So why can you embrace your uniqueness? And when someone tries to be unique, you're shunned upon. I mean, to this day, let me give you an example. Me coloring my hair is a problem. You would think in this day and age that we will be embracing uniqueness.
Right.
But it's like looked upon strangely. Like,
so you have a problem with you coloring your hair?
Like, yeah, I'm just, they, like, it was supposed to look like we're all supposed to look the same. The same style, like, what is, like, okay, not coloring, sorry, this different, like, you coloring in a different, bright, not your typical colors, your browns, your reds, your blondes, that's acceptable in society. Black, like I'm just using my example, my hair as an example of locks. Now doing like I had a bright pink, so like I would get comments here and there, and I know I'll get a lot of stares. But the thing is, it's different, but that's my expression.
You like it.
I like it, and that's my creativity expression, that's my way of being me. Just because you are not ambitious, or like, it's too scary, or or like, we have to embrace our uniqueness. We're all unique, and that's what makes this world so beautiful, and so exciting. And that's what we wake up to every day. There's something different happening, What should something different? What does it have to be negative? It can also be positive. Coloring hair, I'm just using it, it does not affect you.
Exactly. It's not on their head, it's on your head.
and I saw somewhere, like, on LinkedIn, how, like, yes, we still sort of live in conservative society where you're supposed to have corporate world, a certain look and all that. And like with the Generation Z, is how, like, they're very more free, with peer, like, like they're open to expressing their creativity. And I was reading somewhere how someone didn't get hired. She was qualified, but she didn't get hired because of she had piercing, and like her hair was like unique, like different, right? Not your typical corporate hairstyle. So, but she was qualified, but they rather have chosen someone who was meek, who appeared their part, but didn't have the qualification. And they said that they would hire that person because that person is a yes person, basically. But I think, like,
they got the job automatically.
Yes. Okay, so they were saying, like, we still, like, that person should have, remove the piercing. They should know the environment they're in. But actually, I think it was a blessing in disguise for that person who didn't get hired, because probably she wouldn't have lasted long in that organization. It would have been very toxic. Sometimes when those setting those clothes, it's a blessing. We're being protected from something that God sees. Or we're being protected. The universe is protecting us and maybe diverting us to a much better opportunity. Much beautiful, better opportunity. That was in high environment. And so let them stick to their ways, the organization of like, you know, I'm just using that example. Let people, if they want to stick to their ways, the mass thinking, and you know, we should dress like this, we should all appear like this. Okay, well and good. But there's also a corner of this world that embraces uniqueness, that embraces everyone, that embraces, you know,
Right.
positivity, and you know, so there's a space for everybody. Just like I think we need to emphasize for all those people who are there, like who always been felt like they're the underdog, they're different. No, in fact, you continue embracing your uniqueness, being different. That's a good thing. Do you?
And
It's
you know
hard,
what?
but do you?
But that's a beautiful thing you just said, because people always want to be a part of the norm. I know if I behave this way, I know if I dress this way, I'll get the job. I know if I do this, I know if I'll do that, I'll get the job. Instead of just saying, you know what, if they don't accept me the way I am, I don't need the job.
And plus, how would you like?
What about that?
Yeah, and it actually, you know, sometimes, as I said, like it might force you to look in another avenue that might even be bigger, better opportunity for you. Even more money. You never know. In the case of a job, you never know. Because we limit ourselves. Because we have to, we have to act and think like everyone else. If that's again, if for those ones who want to be like everyone else, that's fine, do you, but don't impose on others.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, don't dictate how you think I'm supposed to be because you choose to be a certain way. That's your personal choice. And you do what you have to do that makes you happy.
Indeed. So yeah, this it really takes to be in your divine purpose, divine embrace. It really does take a lot of strength and courage and knowing your self-worth, because each day or every other day, you'll be put to a situation where you question yourself. And that's part of like the healing journey. Once you've embraced, you know, being by and knowing yourself, self-aware, self-love, you get to a point where, you know, it becomes almost second, like you start choosing yourself and you say, no, this is not for me, this is for me. And you have the courage to step away and walk away.
That's right.
But it's a journey. But it starts with believing like you have a greater purpose on this earth, and working on it, and letting not anyone take you down or put you down. It doesn't matter who it is. Don't let anyone. No. Yeah. Heck no. Don't let anyone put you down.
And you know, another thing I noticed is that a lot of times people see in you what they want to see in themselves, but because
exactly.
they don't have that courage, they don't have the strength, they don't have the self-worth.
Yes.
You know what I mean? To do it, so they prefer to tell you not to do it.
Yes. So, and that also stems from jealousy, because you're doing it, so they're jealous. So they're like, no, you can't be. You know,
like, no, I don't like that hair color, because they don't have the strength to make their hair color that way, because they're worried about what their family gonna say, what their friends are gonna say. They're worried about if their job is gonna fire them because they colored their hair. You know, so they'll tell you not to do your hair like that, so they don't feel alone. So they don't feel by themselves. You know, self-worthless, no strength, no courage. You know what I mean? They want you to be in that same category as them. That's the narcissist society that we live in.
And when you start succeeding and doing well, let's say, that's when they also like, oh yes, I encourage, and like, you know, they start copying you, start seeing copycats. But they're not there. They were not there when you were going through the store. Oh, they'll tell you, give you snide comments left, right, center. But once you start doing very well, that's when people come out of the woodworks. It's amazing. I read the other, like recently, oh, speaking of like coming out of the woodworks, it's another reminder of, if you're the type of person who's always reaching out to people. I read this a post in which, like, also talking about cutting off. It's like, stop reaching out to people if you notice they don't reach out to you. Stop just and you start.
Yes.
And you start noticing
that whole part.
In the silence, who's there for you, who reach out and just check on you. If they're so used to you being the one, always wanting to know well. And I'm that type of person. I just hit me again because I've done, like, I go through my phases. I'm like, okay, I'll cut off people. Then you get what we talk about, like, you know, you're like, oh.
And you find yourself right back talking to them again.
Yes, you're reaching out to them and you're trying. Then I think that message was like,
and
no,
something happens again, and you're like, see, this is why I left you alone the 5th time.
Yes, and like, you know,
5 times ago.
Yes, and you keep reaching out, and this is not just, it's for everybody. It could be your friends, anyone, you know. And so this is where you have to learn. We have to learn to finally just cut off, and it's in the silence of then. That's when you notice that this person, what, you know, that relationship was over a long time ago.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's just I keep going back, expecting the person to change, and then you get upset with yourself because you thought that they changed, and they didn't ever change.
Yes, and
they change for the worse.
But also, like, people take you for granted. People take you for granted because they seem like, you know, they're always like, this person will always be there to check on me, to be on the go, like on the speed that, like, you know. No. So it's like, this is where you know your self-worth. Like, you're a diamond. We're diamonds. Huh? Know your self-worth. Right. Remember, actually, I remember this. We're diamonds. Huh? Not in the rough, sparkling. So our self-worth, like, time is money. So me reaching out to you, in fact, you're lucky I reach out to you. Like, I will check on you. You're lucky you saw that you know, but there was a missed call from me. But now from the future, you'll be lucky to see a call from me. To even even have time to think about you. And this is as I said, this is it can be not just someone who you're interested in. It could be family, friends, so many people. In like different categories in your life. Colleagues, friends. Yeah. And if you're again, for my people who are always reaching out, you know, people pleasers, you know, trying to always be there for people. Stop it. I think it's just the hardest is just learning to cut up and like not, and the silence will teach us who's there for us and who's not there for us.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And once we do that, we gotta remember not to go backwards.
Yes.
You go into silence for certain clarification, and then find yourself right back in silence again, thinking about the same thing that you already got clarification for, you know?
I know. I hope this time the lesson is quite fast, quite quick. You're like, oh, okay, that was the lesson. Real quick, cut off again. Zip it, cut it.
Like, here I go again. Didn't I think about this already? Didn't I say that I'm done with that situation? So why am I thinking about this again? Oh, because I went back.
No,
thinking the situation was going to change, and the people don't change.
People don't change.
They change for the worse.
Yes. Again, so that's where you also have to now start putting boundaries for yourself. Like, thick walls of boundaries. Like, not only for them, but for yourself. So you remind yourself, like, no, don't go back.
Exactly. And that's a whole nother lesson that we have to that we have
Yeah.
to remember that's a part of the self-worth. You know,
Yeah,
it is. Know, is it worth you being aggravated again?
yes, it's not worth it. No.
Yeah, you know, like we do damage to ourselves sometimes. We kind of like glut for punishment. We know we know the outcome. We know what the results are going to be, but we keep going back. You know, we keep going back, and that's the sad part about it.
That's
sometimes
the really sad.
We wish that the person will change because you see the potential in them. You see the good side of them. Do they see the potential? Do they see the good side?
Nope. In
fact, we gotta stop looking back, you know.
And in fact, quite the opposite. They see another way of using you even more. So I read somewhere, which is very interesting. I think this Instagram Vex King. So he said, okay, so people will treat you like you're a buffet, you know. But you have to remember, but you have to remember
you're until the food running out, and then ask for more.
And so you have to remember you're the chef. You have the power to close and open that restaurant. When to open it and when to close it.
Oh yes. And when
so we are the chef.
When this food is done, there's no more to come out. There's no more going to be laid out on a display. Once you eat this, that's it.
That's it. So we have to remember we're the chef and we're closing this restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's so true. I like that example.
Yeah, I really like that example. Like boundaries. It's so important to install those boundaries with everybody and yourself. For yourself. Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with it either. Boundaries, setting boundaries.
It's oh wow.
I know.
And
we're like setting it on fire right here.
Yes, I mean, I guess we've talked about so many different topics. It's but it's like that's part of the life journey, you know. Like as I said, these are topics that they're not new. They were there yesterday. They'll be there tomorrow. But it's so funny. We have to keep reminding ourselves because as human beings, we can talk about this, go to sleep, and we're reset, going back to
then tomorrow, doing the same thing we just said we should not be doing.
Yes, exactly.
That's how you know that these conversations have to be reoccurring.
Yes.
The reinforcement is needed in the narcissist society, you know?
Yes. It's the same way as where we go work out. You know, you have to do your checkup, medical checkup. You have to eat healthy, drink water, all that. We're now talking about the mindset, our behavior patterns that are focused, you know, from you know, a spirituality. It's just actually what we're talking about involves everything. Yes. It affects everything in us. How we move our day to day, every day. Yeah.
So true.
It's topic that they didn't used to talk about like back then, but now maybe they did, but like it was probably seen as like, okay, you're weird. But now it's become such a it's being embraced, you know. So it's important. And it's slowly growing, you know. There are people who are understanding, you know, having the same type of lingo of, you know, embracing, you know, embracing so many, intertwining spirituality with, you know, with every, like, you know, and spirituality is not just about Christianity. It's about, it's the whole, you know, it's such a wide spectrum. In that it's a thesis on its own. It's a topic on its own. I don't even know where to begin. You know, spirituality and going into how you think, into how you, your mindset. It's just, I'm not very. We're just talking a tiny aspect of it, a very tiny aspect, not just spirituality. How our day to day embracing our strength, our self-worth,
Yeah.
self-love. Yeah, because it ties in everything.
It does. It
Yeah.
does. And I noticed that too, because a lot of Christian people, they don't have self-love.
No, they don't actually. They talk about
And they're
love,
not, they're
love
not,
yourself.
they're not strong and courageous as they protest to be. They're not.
No, no. Just because you go to church does not mean. And I like how. I mean, I think they are good Christians, they're strong Christians. Okay, but they're the ones who are judgmental as hell itself.
It's only like a handful of bona fide ones. The other 90% is the narcissist, egotistic, What I see in you, I want to see in myself, and because I can't, I'm going to tell you not to do it,
And I don't believe in this thing of like, you have to suffer in order to. What is this philosophy about Christianity and suffering?
I know.
Who said that Christians
you have to be poor. You have to be poor.
You have to be poor.
Yeah, I know.
I don't understand that. We have to suffer. We have to be poor. This mental, that thinking, like you have to be poor, you have to suffer in order. Who said that you will make it to heaven? Who said that? What did it say that in, I don't know, the Bible, unless someone comes and quotes it? Who said that?
Yeah. It's like keeping you dumbed down. It keeps you from expressing your true divinity. It keeps you from really tapping into your Christ consciousness to know that you deserve the same wealth and riches in a good way, not in a bad way, in a good way.
In fact, if you do well, you can help others.
Thank you. And the generational wealth to be passed on.
Yeah. So how, if we're all suffering and like we all have to suffer and we have to be poor, how are we going to help each other?
Exactly.
Move on.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. We're all suffering, we're all poor. And then we're just going to pray our way out of the situation. We're not going to put no work into it.
Yes.
We're not going to put no action into it. We're just going to pray our way out of poverty. I have not seen that work yet.
But doesn't God help those who help themselves?
Exactly.
Yeah, at least try.
Exactly. They're waiting for this money tree to grow in their backyard or something. I don't know.
Okay. I mean, to each their own. This is where you're like, okay, well, you do you. That's great for you. Let me do mine. I am past.
But we'll tell you, because you're not saved, because you're not confessing to be a Christian, that you can't have those things, that you're not going to go to heaven, and that God will bless you more if you was a Christian. I remember a lady told me that.
Yeah, also all these things, like because you're going through suffering, God does not love you. Mm-hmm. Or you're doing something wrong, that you're a bad Christian.
They too are a bunch of narcissists.
Yes. So I think that also goes like where it just goes back to a reminder is like, once you're fully in your own embrace and you know you love yourself and you know your purpose here, let people say whatever they want to say. Let them think whatever they want to think.
That's what I
do you. And also, another thing, if you're worried about people bad publicity or good publicity, the truth is, even bad publicity is still publicity. They may talk negatively about you, but they are also, they're viewing your okay, let's say this we have you have channels, right? Social media. They're still looking at our social media channels, right?
Exactly.
You're viewing. You are, even the haters are also, they can be your, it's a strength, it's like they can be your publicity, free publicity. It's the way one looks at things, you know? Do
Right.
you? But I'm not going to argue with you over like, like if that's how you think, that's you. I have no time to argue with you. I have my own path to focus on. So that's just a reminder for the people out there who are going through doing their own thing. Focus on you. Come on. In fact, let's say, argue with a fool, you become a fool. Sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah. So argue with a fool, you become a fool.
Yeah, now you have two fools, not one.
Yeah. There's no point. Unless you have to defend yourself, but there's so much defending you can do, just walk away, It's so worth the time and energy because, those are, again, we're talking about narcissists. Narcissists love, arguments and to put you down and they feel as if they're won in an argument, by pulling in those arguments. So worth it.
Yes. Like to discourage you because they don't have courage.
Yeah. And it's always the funny part. And even it's not to say that obviously me and you are growing our channels. And I even to this right as I'm growing, I get all sorts of comments and you see successful people and they're like, but what are you doing with your money? Or what questions like that. And I'm like, what does it bother you? You're successful. You have XYZ happening in businesses. So why are you in my business?
Yeah, why would they ask you that? What's the point of them asking you?
Narcissist.
Wow.
Narcissist. Yeah.
Do you want to contribute to what I'm going to do with my money?
No. In fact, are you willing to invest in my thing? No.
Mm-hmm.
But that was it. More like it just comes from a stem of jealousy.
Yes.
And
it is.
You do you, boo. Do your thing. Huh? Focus on you. Why am I disturbing you? Why am I triggering you? Huh?
Exactly.
So if I'm triggering you, then you need to work on yourself, just as I am working on myself. That's probably my role in this world. Consciously, unconsciously, I could be triggering, but that's also for you to sit down, pull back, and say, okay, why am I triggered? There's something I need to work on myself, and work on it. Then go be the best version of yourself.
Yes. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And even having this dialogue is encouraging me to stay on my self-worth, keep the strength, and be encouraged. That's going to make me so when I make my decisions, whether it's a cutoff or add on, I know my self-worth and I know why I did it.
I think this topic, I said, yeah, you're right. It's very timely, and it's also, as I'm saying this, it's also a reminder. It's actually giving me strength, and I think I think everything happens for a reason. Remember, we're supposed to have done this yesterday, right? But the fact that we didn't, that was the end of the month, but actually we're starting with the month, the first of the month.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that must be something. There's a signal there, right there. That means it's like the beginning of another transformation,
yes.
A huge,
yes.
This is a huge, a good. It's I feel there's a fantastic season. It's about to start. The next chapter, the next season, and there's a reason why we actually had it at this time.
We're beginning another shift, and the shift is going to go in the right direction. It's going to go in a good direction.
And
it's
everything
going to open up more doors.
It's
going to open up more doors. It's going to bring in positivity from different angles that we probably even could fathom. We can at least expect it, but we're going to know why we started new. You know what I'm saying? We're not starting at the end. We're starting in the beginning. So there's a beginning of something that's getting ready to manifest. I can't put my feet on it right now. Yeah, exactly. Then we're moving into a summer season, a new season for the summer over here, maybe winter in other places, but it's still a new season stepping in.
New season. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I put my finger on it, but it's a good manifestation getting ready to take place.
Amen. Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I mean, like, and if like, and that's going back to that divine embrace. Everything happens for a reason, you
Mhm.
know, and there's right timing. There's never a wrong timing.
Yeah.
There's a right timing. It's how you see it. It's how you like view it. Like, you know, again, going
Mhm.
back to that, like open your mind to like, oh, new possibilities. You know, the gratitude space. And it's really true. Once you put yourself in that mind frame of like, oh yes, something good is going to
Oh
happen. You know,
yes.
even so tiny. They even say in the Bible, having faith of a tiny mustard seed, just a tiny one like that,
You
make a
can
difference.
imagine, yes, what could blossom
Yeah,
out of that faith of mustard seed.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Then
So
today is
like,
Sunday, which is a new week, a new day of the week, the first day of the week. So
exactly.
we're right on time. We're right in
We're right
sync
on time.
with the celestial bodies,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
We're right
Amen
on
to that.
time.
Right on time. We're riding with the waves. We're going with the waves. We're going with the waves. Not
Yes.
against it, but with the waves, the
Mm-hmm.
tides. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So yeah, so this is it's very it's the right time. And I feel it. I feel it. And I feel as if like you feel it too. There's
Right.
something in the air.
Oh yeah. There's a beautiful breakthrough that's
Yes.
about to happen
Mm-hmm.
in this month of June.
Amen. And it's
And
gonna
the following months. But the June is going to be the set off.
the
It's the
beginning.
set off.
It's the beginning. Yeah, it's the
Oh yeah.
kickoff.
We'll keep seeing it month after month, but this is going to be the when the wheels are spinning now. You
And
know?
it's June like the 6th month of the year.
Oh yeah.
Midpoint.
So we're halfway through. Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you.
And number 6 represents completion.
Oh wow. Oh yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Everything happens for a reason. I'm just telling you, everything happens for a reason. You know, they're like, yeah, everything happens for a reason. This was meant to happen.
But we have completed our shift, and now we just
Yes.
wait for the manifestation to happen.
Yeah. Yes.
And we just left out of a new moon a few days ago.
Yes. 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 Yes.
So we're still kind of like in that new moon energy.
Yes. Yes.
You know,
Yes.
we're in the waxing crescent stage.
Yes.
So the moon is waxing to be
Mhm.
full. You know, it's fulling out. Things are going to start fulling out. You know.
Yeah.
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 And sometimes you feel it, you just can't put your finger on it. Like I feel it, but I just can't put my finger on it.
Yeah, that's the thing. You feel it like it's something. There's just there's a like, you know, like the tiny spark of hope, like, you know, like something is gonna happen.
Yeah. When it happens, I'll say, oh, that's what it was. Or you'll get a deja vu. I'll catch a deja vu and say, yes, that's what it was.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, yeah. That was a turning point for that year. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, yeah.
So we're on the right track. Oh, yeah.
We are on the right track.
Probably like every first of the month, we should do a podcast.
Oh, yeah, actually, yeah, we can. Yeah, so yeah.
Since we already set the stage for how
Yeah,
the day
and-
is working.
Yeah, that's true. We could try. Yeah, that would be a good like, yeah, we can every first of the month we do.
Mhm.
I like that. Touch base and like, and then now we start even bringing more people like forward.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Wow. So should we end here? It's going to 2 hours. I'm also
Yeah.
conscious of your time.
Yeah, we should, because we also got more to talk about. We can't talk about everything
I know.
in one podcast, you know what I mean? But we did cover a lot, and I think that us ending here will give the listeners something to walk away with.
Yes, and then we can also intend to share this on my different channels, like forward.
Oh yeah,
so,
I already started sharing it, so I'll just definitely keep fresh and sharing it, most definitely, because this is a good topic and it helps everybody.
It does. I really hope it does. Even if it's like a few people, because someone was telling me, like, sometimes it might not be a lot of people, but even just a few.
All right, it doesn't matter. Yeah, it could be 1, it could be 5,000. You know.
Yeah.
The messages, it got through to somebody.
Yeah.
And they'll pass it on, and that person passes it on. You know. It'll have its circulation. It'll circulate. The more we do it, the more people get familiar with seeing us, and
yeah. Definitely. Okay, so Lakeisha, thank you. This was I didn't think I could talk that long.
Yeah, you can. See, you was worried about what to say. You said a lot.
Oh my goodness. And I was so worried. I was like, what am I going to say?
Right. So if you just want to, tell people how to contact you, where you're located, a little brief description about you before we close out, that'd be fine.
Well, okay. You can contact me. I'm on majority of the platforms from YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. So my handle in the chat is Gloria Lwakabamba. I also have a website. If you just glorialwakabamba.com. She's put it in the chat, but it'll be in the description. And that's where it could be found. And so I do this on the side. I felt as if this was my calling. For the longest time, I said it took me a long time to be in this space of like trying to motivate others, because it's also I motivate myself, so I'm trying to also motivate others. Help each other to grow and fulfill our purpose. Yeah. So that's me in a nutshell. Trying to help you, and you help me in turn. Yeah, we grow together.
So it's Gloria. Let me see. Gloria Lwakabamba.
Yes. So I can give the website.
Okay.
Let me
give you the website. On the screen real quick.
Yeah. Well, thank you for the people who attended. I'm really grateful. Thank you for the encouragement.
Oh, and thank you too. Thank you for your time and your energy. Thank you for sharing this vital information. And I definitely look forward to more dialogue for sure.
Definitely. Yeah. Definitely. So take care, and we'll speak soon again.
Yes. Enjoy the rest of the afternoon.
Oh yeah, thank you, and enjoy the day. You're just beginning your day, yeah?
Yeah, well, what time is it now? Yeah, it's 10:30.
Oh yeah, you need to.
So it's still early. What time is it on your side? 3 o'clock or something like that?
No, 4:30.
4:30, okay.
We're ready for Monday tomorrow.
Oh yeah, you gotta work tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
So you gonna go out, or you went to the gym already this morning?
Oh no! I told you I was sleeping. In my mind I was gonna go, but no, tomorrow morning. Start Monday off. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, peace and love to you.
Take care.
Gratitude.
Thank you. Likewise. Have a great day. Bye.